I can't complain.
So you had an interesting case yourself, huh?
Yeah, I actually did. On the morning of March 7th this year, I was traveling from a place called Jasper, Florida, back down to Miami. And it was about, I don't know, about 3:45, 4 o'clock in the morning. And on the highways down there, the speed limit is like 75 miles an hour. So anyway, make a long story short, I'm driving down the highway. Like I said, it's about 3:45, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm in a company van, and at some point, I could have sworn. I mean, I thought I was wide awake, but I can't justify how I got off the on ramp. You're on the highway, driving 75 miles an hour, and at some point, I veered off to the off ramp, and by the time I got to the top of the hill to the off ramp, I noticed there was a stop sign probably about 25, 30 feet away from me. And I'm doing, 65, 70 miles an hour. I slam on the brakes. I started sliding on the off ramp. I flew through the intersection. As soon as I flew through the intersection, two cop lights came on. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I made it over the intersection, pulled over to the side. And cop comes up to the window, and like I said, I can't thank you enough because that was definitely some type of investigation, fingerprints, all types of different shit that I've encountered from dealing with the policy enforcers. But this particular night, when he came to the window, he says, "Everything all right?" And I said, "Hell no, I almost died." I said, I, "Shit, I didn't realize there was a stop sign there."
Hmm.
And he said, "License and registrations." Now, mind you, uh, carrying cannabis with me is the usual course of business.
Hmm.
It's part of everyday life with me. So I had an ounce of bud with me, sitting right in the little center console. All he had to do was search it, and it's right there in the open, and I don't hide it anywhere. But I gave him the identification, the registration to the company van, and he said, "All right, hold on." So I'm sitting in the car, and I'm like, man, because I'm leaving Florida from another court case that I had to make a special appearance in. So as he takes my license, he takes the IDP and the IDL, and he takes it to his car. I'm looking in the rearview mirror, and I can see him putting the flashlight on the identification as he's walking to his car. And I look through my rearview mirror, and I see his door open up. I see him take a step towards his car, and then he stopped. Then he called his partner over from the other car, and they have some words. And then I see him close his door to the cop car, and he walks up to the side of the car to me, and he hands me the identification back, and he says, "All right, well, you drive safe. Is there anything else?" And I was in pure disbelief. I mean, complete. He of everything that I've experienced with these individuals out here on the road, your program, your identification is what everybody needs. No questions asked. He handed me back my identification and said, "Have a nice day." Now, when I say more intense, I would think it's more intense for me. I've had more encounters than the average with the policy enforcers.
Hmm.
So my circumstances might be a little different from everybody else, but I do suffer from post traumatic stress disorder from
Hmm.
dealing with them. So, it was a complete blessing. It only God sent for you to come into the information, for you to bring forth to the world, your contribution. And I'm telling you, you saved my life that night.
Wow.
You really, No question. I mean, again, you're doing 65, 70 miles an hour, and I mean, flying through
Right.
an intersection.
Right.
You know, no further investigation, no other words exchanged after they took that IDP and put the flashlight on it. So,
Well,
like I said, it might not have been intense to anybody else, but I've had more than my fair share of encounters with policy enforcers, and that was just unbelievable.
In a case like, was you on the expressway?
I was about to get on what they call Alligator Alley. I guess
like someplace you don't supposed to be at.
Muskogee, Florida. There was nothing around. That's what made it even worse, because once you hit those type of places, you know, they look for excuses.
Yeah.
To encounter a taxable event.
So outside looking in to the police officer, you know, this guy's driving impaired, right?
Exactly. Something got to be
reckless.
Something. But you know what? That wasn't even a topic of subject at all. Not one question to why I was driving like that.
with the ounce of cannabis in the car.
With an ounce of cannabis in the car. Not one question. And I mean, if they're given the proper notice, they're supposed to adhere anyway. They're supposed to do that. You know, so I am living proof. I'm a testimony that it's the truth. You are the truth. Like I said, that happened back in March. I haven't had any other instances since then, but I mean, for me, that was definitely a life-moving, life-changing moment for me. And I thank you.
Man, just in case y'all don't know, this is the legendary one and only, you know, head of Game Face. I don't know if people know what that is, but the king of hemp. You know, y'all better do y'all due diligence and research if y'all know who this is. This is the Godfather that's given a lot of y'all opportunities to move and groove out here in that fashion.
Yeah, well, time out, bro. I'm no Godfather. I'm none of those things. I'm just like everybody else, and I just found a crease in the game and utilized it and leveraged it to the benefit of myself and truly humanity. Everybody just got to catch up.
Absolutely. But I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due, though. You know, I mean, shit. I mean, that's where we both. That's the area that we both favor. I mean, I did the same thing. You know.
Right. Oh, absolutely. But you know, in my situation, there's been I'm not going to say a lot of misinformation of what Game Face is or what it's become or even what it's becoming. You know, initially, Game Face was just a T-shirt company spreading a positive message. That's all it was. It wasn't until I went inside and brought out. I can't say what I believe. I always knew there was a way in order for me to incorporate the plant into my life. But it wasn't until I went inside and I went to God. And you know, through God, through that energy, through that magnificent, magnanimous force, I received the gift. And the troublesome part for me with everybody is not understanding that the main thing about Game Face is about security.
Yeah.
You know, I know a lot of people want to be involved with the plant, and to each his own. But the first thing I would think that anybody would want is security.
Yeah.
You know, and through the proper information and people being educated properly on how to secure themselves, then they can participate in adult things. You know? So yeah, man. It's like I said, I just wanted to share that with you because it really, really, like, it puts so much more confidence in my life as I travel. It's a beautiful thing, and I love you and thank you for it, brother.
Gratitude, bro. Man, I appreciate the testimonial and you know, everything you do on your side as well.
It's all good. It's all good.
To be
Wow.
continued.
Absolutely. Let's
All
get
right, bro.
another chapter down, and open another one up.
Absolutely, bro. Peace out.
Peace out, my brother.
All right. Well, there you have it. Another testimonial, real life experience, feet on the ground, boots on the soil.